Alright, so for the quiz, we're going to be pretty much just filling out this diagram. So everything should look kind of like what we've been doing the whole chapter pretty much. Just like those central angles and the intercepted arcs. And then the rest of it, the second part, the last part, is where you have one of those it's a regular pentagon, I think. And you are having to find kind of like the area, or they ask you for perimeter, and then one of the angles, and then one of the sides, or half of one of the sides. Okay, so on the first one, the first part, should look pretty familiar. So like the first one, they say, what's the measure of angle ABC? Okay, so that's ABC would be that angle right there. Okay, so again, hopefully, we can take those two endpoints, A and C, and remember, if we can connect them to a point on the outside of the circle, then that angle, 25, is half of the one we're looking for. Okay, so if 25 is half of the one we're looking for, then that means the one we're looking for would be 50. Okay? And so you kind of do things like that. That's how all of this will work. Keep in mind, sometimes they might be asking you about, like, if you're going around the whole circle, 360 degrees. Okay, so like if they want to like section it off and do something like this, like maybe they give you this, and then they give you, this one, and then they give you this one, they might ask you for a missing one. Okay, that's where we take 360, or add all the other ones up, and then subtract it from 360. Okay, one other thing that they're going to talk about that we haven't done, that we didn't talk about, but I feel like you guys can get it. Number 6 asks for the measure of angle FCB. Okay, so now they tell you here that this line FC is tangent to the circle. Okay, this is important. This is something you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to know for next year. Tangent, if a line is tangent to a circle, that means it comes right up next to it and barely hits it and keeps going. So it doesn't go through the circle. It just barely crosses like at one point. Okay, you'd have to zoom in like really, really far to see where it actually crossed. Okay, further than that. But there's something that, like the one we were just talking about, where the intercepted arc is half of the central angle. There's another theorem where if there's a line that's tangent to a circle, like FC, okay, then if there's a radius connected at the point of tangency, meaning if like the line connects at the one point where it crosses the circle, like this one happens to do, what the theorem tells us is that that angle that it crosses with has to be 90 degrees. Okay, so any line that's tangent to a circle like that barely touches it, if you made a line from the point of tangency, the point where it touched it, and connected that to the center, then that means that that line you made and the line of tangency are going to be perpendicular. Okay? And then the rest of those you should be able to do. Alright. Okay, so for the first one here, they're asking about the measure of angle ANM. Okay, so they want that angle right there. Okay, we know from the previous homeworks, there's a way to find, we know a way to find this angle here. We know this one's 90, so if we could find this one, and we know this one, add those up, take it away from 180, and that should be the one we're missing. Alright. Didn't they ask you for the length of segment AM? Okay, so now they're basically looking for what's half of one of those sides. Okay, so at this point, we should have this angle here. We'll call it theta. We should have that angle. And this is the side we're looking for. This is opposite, and hypotenuse is 8 that we have. So what we should set up here, opposite and hypotenuse is sine. We should set up sine of theta. Remember, you'll have a number there, whatever you get, equals x over 8. And then if you multiply both sides by 8, you should get x by itself, whatever 8 times sine of your angle that you actually have. Okay, that'll get you to segment AM. And then all you have to do is double that to get one whole side of the pentagon, and then just multiply that by 5 for 5 sides, and that's how you get the perimeter. Okay, so 9 and 10 will kind of go together. 8 is a little different, but you'll use 8 to get 9 and 10. Remember, 8, there should be a video about that. I believe it was the sides minus 2. So in this case it'd be 3, no, sides minus 2 times 180 divided by the sides, I believe. Okay, so if we do this, that should get you that angle. And then remember, we cut it in half to get this little one.